Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got the J, which is a good scoring tile, but I've got a lot of high scoring tiles. So I'd like to play off as many of these as possible, or at least try and leave a good rack leave. Now I could play keyed, keeping JN. I can't see a way of playing the J with either the K or the Y. And I don't want to keep both the K and the Y. So keyed certainly sorts that out. Let me see what this looks like. Keeping JN. It doesn't feel great, but the score 36 points is quite good, and it's quite an open play playing 5 tiles, so I should have options for my J. Next go. Pretty horrendous. I draw 2 more high-scoring tiles. I've now got 5 high-scoring tiles on my rack, and only 1 vowel. So pretty unbalanced, but if I can score enough, I will press on. There's no need to change. I've got box and cocks on my rack. Both of those play at I3 underneath the beginning of keyed, and also over the end of keyed. So it's quite helpful that I have played a 5-letter play. It increases the choices of playing position for my next move, which I'm going to be grateful for, given this is such an extreme rack. I have no duplicates, which is good, but I could well be in trouble the move after this one, unless I'm fortunate in my pickup. The trouble with playing something like box is that I'm keeping 4 consonants, including J and Q, so I'm highly dependent on picking up vowels. And sometimes when you most need vowels, you get none. My opponent taking a while with her move. If she does bingo, I will at least have more floaters to consider, unless it's a massive overlap. I know my opponent. She represents Trinidad and Tobago in international tournaments, including the World Championships, so she's pretty good, and you can see that from her rating. Now, is there a way of playing off 4 tiles? I'd much rather keep 3 consonants than 4. The Q is a dead duck. I'm not going to be able to play that this turn. Jacobin is good, but I would need an A and an I, and that's not going to happen. I'm looking at the 2 E's in keyed as a way of playing off more tiles, but nothing has come to mind. Well, I guess I could play Boxen, B-O-X-E-N. That plays off 1 more consonant. Okay, so Boxen's still available in column 5. My box and cock spot has been taken. However, let me see what box scores here. So that's 33. Let me have a look at Boxen. 31. Well, I think this is better, even though it scores 2 points less. I'm more likely to draw a vowel with only 3 consonants, and therefore less likely to be in trouble. However, is there a third choice? My J can go in front of AI. Well, that's a reason for keeping it for next go, I think. This doesn't feel great. However, I've not seen anything better, so Boxen for 31. Great, that's a pretty good pickup. I draw 2 vowels, including the all-important I for going with the Q. AIN doesn't take a J in front, so the column 2 spot for the J has gone. The O next to the triple letter square is pretty juicy, so that might go. Now I've got Jedi and Jerd on my rack, and Jared, all of which burn the I, which is useful for the Q. However, there are more I's than U's in the bag, so Jared could play in column 6 if that remains available, and it does. And a Q is available. Undiust takes a W in front, so I can play Quid for only 18 points. What else is available? Anywhere for QI? Well, not that scores very much. If I play Jared, I'm obstructing the U. I don't want to do that. Now, what I could do is play Jared's here, which sets up a spot for the Q next go. Okay, it's only 31 points. I can't get it to play twice. However, the U of Undiust is still available. And this is sorting the rack out, and the score 28 points is quite good. So 16 minutes on my clock. Have I missed something better? So are there any high scoring spots for just the J? $38 points for Jared in column 6. So I'm sacrificing 10 points, but then I'm retaining 2 spots for the Q, whereas Jared takes out both of those. And the Q is a bad tile. However, Jared's in this spot opens up row L for a high score. So am I missing a J spot? I think well, a good one might be with the J on this triple letter square. So 28 for Jared's. What about just G? Well, this looks a pretty clunky rack, and I'm not providing that QI spot, which is one of the reasons for Jared, so I'm going with this. Not good, but I have a small lead, so I'm not in trouble. I've got Chi with the eye of Jared's. Do I have anything through the U? Well, I'm just wondering if I should have played Quid last go. I should have taken out this hot spot next to the O. Okay, well that boat has sailed. If I play just Chi, not a great rack. However, I think the time has come to play the Q. My opponent may be distracted by row L. Both W's to come. Wow, another bingo by my opponent. She is on fire, 66 points. And look at my rack, complete rubbish. However, I've got Chi for 31. And I think that's better than anything I can see through the U, since I can't see anything through the U. Great. That looks quite nice. Through an A, I would have calciate. No A's available. I note that my C can go next to the H, so column 1 could be good. Calc, not good. Do I have anything? Any 4 or 5 letter plays with C in 4th place? What a shame if I don't. So I have elect. I do have something. It may go. My opponent may play a 4-letter play which takes out both triple word squares. That could happen. Now, do I have a play at the bottom from J1 down a 6-letter play beginning with A or S? There could be one. I'm 9 points behind. Not seen a 6-letter play yet. I would have accelerate through the right triplicate of tiles. That's not going to happen. Okay, 36 for my opponent. She has taken out my hot C spot. And I don't have a 6-letter play. I can't use my C's lower down in column 1. C doesn't go next to O. I could play éclat in column 4. There's the A for calciate, not in the right spot. Now, what about row L across? I can play clat. Let me see what that looks like. 31 points, pretty good. Ratcliffe, pretty good. I don't think Clate is good. So I think this is the best I can do in this spot. Slightly unbalanced rack. However, I do have a scoring tile in the C. Pretty unbalanced. In the sense that I have 3 E's. If those 3 E's were different vowels, it would be a balanced rack. I've got celeb, which plays in column 6, making B and ob. That would sort the rack out nicely. I'm 14 points behind. And I thought for a moment I had accede. I don't. It would be nice to have an alternative to celeb. I can't see anything in column 1. ET doesn't take anything after it that I've got. So I haven't got anything in row M, which utilises the JA hook. That's going to be pretty hot. Still a lot of A's to come. I'd like to keep the board open because I'm behind. Certainly a play in row M is good for me, even if it scores well for my opponent, because it's likely to open row N. Great. My celeb spot remains available. My opponent continuing to score. But I'm just about hanging in there, so celeb for 35. And this is a decent 2-letter rack lead. Let's see what I can draw. Okay, through an A, I would have forayed and 4-yard. Can't see a 7 with this rack. I've got good scoring tiles in the F and the Y. I don't have an A for going after et. Nothing else I've got goes after et. That is a super hot spot. My opponent or I could score 40 or 50 points in row M for a fairly short word. Now, is there definitely no bingo here? What are the floaters? There's the C and D of celeb. Can't see anything there. Celeb's obstructed Oh, and you have Oundiest. There's still the W front hook for it. So a few hot spots on this board. There's still H1. That would need vowel, vowel, consonant. So I can't use that. Well, 38 points. That could have been worse. I'm 50 points behind. If I can play fry somewhere, the rack leaves okay. So I could play foy in column 4, keeping DERR and 3 R's to come. That's not great. But it is more than 30 points. I've got ferry on my rack. Can't see anywhere to play that. Jag takes an A, G and S after it. V's available at the top and the bottom of the board. That's no good to me. I could play Torify for 26 points. Probably not as good as Foy. Right, I think I've seen my spot. Fry, 29 points. This is a much better rack leave than after Foy. But even better, I think, is Ferry in this spot. I am burning the E, but 32 points is more. I'm blocking the C and E of Celeb. Okay, so this is slightly bad. But I still think overall this is a better play. What about in this spot? So that's 32. Well, that's also 32. However, the R is a more useful floater than the F, and I am behind. So I think I will go with re-fry. I'm just pausing. I was thinking about the consequences for the W front hook of Undius, but re-fry and ferry both leave the E in this spot, so that doesn't matter. Not great. I'm 20 points behind, opponent on turn, and this is not a bingo rack. My opponent challenges, she loses 5 points. I'm 16 points behind. This is not a nice rack. Close to Mirador. I've got the O for going in front of BE. I do want to sort out the duplicates. So I played off 2 R's and picked up 2 R's. That shows the dangers that I was facing had I have played Foy. Myrid is good, I think. Nowhere great for that. Remorid is good. Undiest only takes a W in front. I don't have anything for going after Jag. Nothing with a V. So no options at all at the moment. Only 24 for my opponent. She's slowing down. That's good. So what can I do? Tricky. Mirror through an R. I've got the M for score. But I want to sort out the duplicate. So I want to play off an I and an R. So a play of Mir or Rim works. Jagger takes an S, 2 S's, 1 blank still to come. Just looking in column 1. Don't have anything there. No E for going after R or for going after NY. I'd like to turn over a lot of tiles to increase my chances of drawing an S or a blank. 9 minutes on my clock, that's not much. And still 30 tiles to come. I'm in a poor shape. At the moment, I've seen absolutely nothing. Well, I've now seen something, but it's not good. Idiom. 28 points. Okay, the score's good. The turnover's good. I'm not blocking floaters. 2 R's. Okay, ordinarily that's bad, but look, there's only 1 R to come, so I'd be pretty unfortunate to draw that, and if I draw vowels, then the duplicate R is not a disaster. There are many worse tiles to have duplicates of. I'm short on time. I'm going with this. Well, not great. Let me look at the remaining vowel situation. Only 1 E to come, so I need to hang on to my current E. But it's the only vowel I've got, so I may have to jettison it. Still no W for woundiest, and 2 W's out there. So I missed both W's to blank and both S's. I could do with turning over a lot of tiles again. There is the floating eye of woundiest. I'm just considering a bingo. I can't see one. I can't use column 1. I'm really looking for floating vowels. Well, maybe I will use this floating eye of woundiest. So I could play ripen or ring if I want to keep on hold of the E. So ring keeping pert, not bad. It's opening up an S hook for a 7-letter bingo. The downside of ring is the score. Opponent changes. And I'm only 12 points behind, so is my luck changing? Ring for 10, a pretty good rack lead. Certainly if I draw one of these A's, pater's fairly good. I'm retaining the P for score and keeping hold of the precious E. Is there anything better on offer? I don't think so. Now, I have drawn a W for woundiest. Is pouter's good? Or prowest? Prowest or pouters? Both play in column 11. Terrible time to phony. Prowest. Prower? What am I confusing that with if it's wrong? Gosh, tricky rack. I wish I knew my words. Now, what's on offer in terms of the W? Well, I can play weeps, burning the precious E. $45 or 46 points, that's pretty good. I'm still looking for inspiration in terms of pouters and prowest. What other floaters are there to consider? And I've got the S for going after Jagger. Wow, this would be a great time to be sure of this bingo. Prowest. If it's not good, I'm definitely confusing it with something. Well, moment of truth. Do I go with prowest? Only 14 points for my opponent. So not a disaster if this comes off, except if it comes off I get 0 and I could have got 40 odd points for weeps. Prowest. Let me see what it looks like. Prowest. Gosh, this is agony. Pouters. I'm going to try this. Well, at least I know the other W is not on my opponent's rack, so if this comes off, I do have a decent score in row D, and I've got the S for going after Jagger. Just waiting for this to be challenged. Wow, not challenged. Fantastic. Maybe it's good. I've no idea. But a good score for my opponent. So I've now got a small lead, 28 points. I don't have an S. The W spot for Woundiest, never used. I've got scoring tiles in the M and the W, 9 tiles in the bag, including an S and a blank. I'd like to turn over tiles to try and draw one of those. How can I do that? 7 minutes on my clock, so I'm not in massive time trouble. I've got the final E, which is good. It may stop my opponent from bingoing, even if she has got the blank. I don't really want to play across in row H, creating floaters. Just wondering if I can play... So I could just play AW. For 33 points, which is a good score. Quite a balanced rack leave. Only one U to come. I'm retaining the E. I'm not turning over tiles, which is bad. I'm taking a spot where my opponent could have played OF, but F is the only high-scoring tile to come, which increases the value of the M staying on my rack. 33 points is quite a good score, given that I've got a 28-point lead. It increases my chances of surviving a bingo. I'm going with this. Moulinet onto a T. So I've drawn an O and an I. Let me look at the vowel situation. 6 vowels to come out of 14, so a balanced bag. My opponent could well have a bingo here. I may need to score well off the M. If my opponent does bingo, she will be emptying the bag, so I'll see exactly what she's got. Worst case scenario would be a non-S bingo followed by an S play in row O. I may not be able to survive that. My lead, only 59 points. Now, row H is available. Row H is available. I may have a play beginning EM. M-mule, possibly. A-mule. No, I don't have an A. I have oleum on my rack, which could play in column 12. I've got an N for going after chi. So close to nut meal. Can't see any plays using that. Well, I can't see any plays which reach the double word square. I may simply play a shorter play. I'd quite like to get rid of the U at this point with one still to come. I don't want to be in a situation of having 2 U's on my rack. It may inhibit my abilities to go out in 1 or 2 moves. My opponent must be close to a bingo with a balanced bag and only the F as a non-bingo-y tile. However, limited bingo lanes. Rings takes nothing after it, so column 12 at the bottom not available. There's the floating T of Undius. There's bingos beginning with S, bingos beginning with Z. It's limited pickings. A bingo at the top of column 12 would require a 4-tile overlap, not very likely. And my opponent's only got 4 minutes on her clock. She may try and open the board up, in which case my response is likely to be to close down whatever she's opened. So she could play across from this E. She doesn't, but what she does do is open up column 13. That's quite a nice play. So how to close that down? So I've got the U, which can go after the G. 5 minutes on my clock. 3 tiles left. Do I want to play off just the 2? Tricky. I can't play 2 tiles. I'd quite like to play something M because Pam only takes an S. I can't do that. Oh, well, I can. I can play Om for 19 points. I'm in trouble if my opponent bingos. So this will take me to 394. 56-point lead. Yeah, this may work out. If my opponent's got the F, she may not have a bingo. I think I'm likely to lose if my opponent's got an S beginning bingo in row O. However, I think I'm going with this. My opponent could well have the F unless it's the last one in the bag. I do not have a bingo. I don't think. I've got a 50-point lead. Anxious moments. So what other floaters are there apart from the T? Nothing. Well, nothing for me. My opponent could have a V something S play. I don't have a 7 with this rack. Even if I did, there's nowhere to play it. I'm going to struggle to score. Pam only takes an S after it. If I play through the G of Gula, I'm not going to score very much. A play of Gurn, only 15 points. However, there's one tile in the bag, so I'll know if I have the option of playing out in 1 or 2. I've got no scoring tiles. If my opponent does bingo, with only one tile, I'll be able to see exactly how much she can score on the board, so I'll know what I need to aim for. But it probably won't be enough. Great. Opponent does not bingo. Fantastic. So I am now 31 points ahead. My opponent's got 1 point tiles. Not going to score very much with that. I'm immediately drawn to the top here. Let's see what EN scores. 23 points. I don't have anything which goes after lot, apart from an E, which I need to go next to the F. So 23 points. My current lead is 31, so this will be 54. I lose 10. My opponent needs to score 44 points with Iota. That's not going to happen. I think this is a 1 game. Can I do better than 23 points? Three minutes on my clock. So do I have anything beginning with the E? And even if I did, only 18 points. But I'm burning 3 more tiles, so that's not very much difference. A play of Tunnel, only 12 points, so that's not as good. What about using my N for a chin play? 3 minutes on my clock. Knit and net, I need to consider. Can't see anything there. So any other lanes I've missed or spots? What about the Z? Can't see anything there. I'm going with the N. Now I can't go out in 1, or I haven't identified an out in 1. My opponent certainly can go out with Iota. Okay, she doesn't. She gets 23 points. I am 31 points in front. So I've got 2 minutes to find a play. Do I have anything beginning with the E? Can't see anything. I could play Zin for 12. Is there an out in 1 somewhere? Can't see anything with the T. I could play knit for 18. Keeping LUR. My opponent will definitely be going out in 1 since she's only got 1 tile. She can play Zoe. So knit for 18. Zin for 12. Okay, there's not going to be very much in this. Possibly I should be blocking the Z for my opponent anyway. Can I do better than knit for 18? Well, not that I can see. Just wait for my opponent to play her final move. She plays Zoe, pass to end the game. And the final score, 403 to my opponent, 435 to me, a winning margin of 32 points. So a pretty close game and a pretty exciting one. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first. Kind. That looks better than whatever I played. I played keyed, keeping JN. Same score, but keeping EJ. Well, that's better. The J needs vowels. My opponent's got them. She plays AI. Jinx. Wow, for 37 points, using just 3 consonants. Instead, I played Boxen for 6 fewer. Yeah, Jinx, a better play. Nice rack for my opponent. She plays Aundiest. Let me reply to this. How do I do that? Okay, so I play Boxen. Opponent plays Aundiest. This is my rack. Jared, B6 for 44. I thought about that, but then I had nowhere to go with my Q, so I played Jared's for 16 fewer points, but keeping 2 options for the Q. Okay, I don't know whether that's a sensible sacrifice or not, but it's the one I made. Now my opponent plays Herdens for 68, a nice bingo. And now I'm 40 points behind with a pretty crappy rack, but I'm able to play Chi for 31. So that worked out. Opponent plays a Vape. Sequel B4. Okay, pretty nice, 24 points. Instead I played Clat at L1 for 31, but I actually prefer Clat. Not only does it score more, but it's taking out a hotspot. Not a nice rack for my opponent. She plays Chiv, and I have Celeb for 35, which sorts the rack out. And at this point, I'm 15 points behind. Not a nice rack for my opponent. She plays Hag. Frory, C9. Oh, yeah, pretty good for 32. I played Ferry for the same score, keeping an O rather than an E, so Frory slightly better. Redefy, that looks quite nice. Horrible rack for my opponent. She's getting all the vowels, but is able to play through it with 24 for Ita. Now, this is one of the grimmest racks I had this game, and I'm 40 points behind, so this was problematic. And I played Idiom for 28, which worked out quite well. I liked the turnover. The Rackley was vulnerable, but it was also capable of working out. So what did happen? I played Idiom, horrible rack for my opponent. She changed, and my pickup didn't work out. It was a vulnerable rack leave, and I did draw mainly consonants, which didn't help. However, because my opponent changed, I'm only 12 points behind, so I'm not out of it. And I play Ring, F10, Pern in column 10. I don't like that. I am behind. There's only one E in the bag. I've got an E. I wanted to hang on to it, so I still like ring, even though it was a 19-point sacrifice. Opponent plays Utah, and it's paid off, which doesn't mean it was right. And look at that, Pouters and Prowess, both good. So I was confusing Prowess with Prowess. Now, tables have turned, and I have a 50-point lead, and my opponent's got a Grimrack. She plays Zoo for 38, so she's not out of it, especially with these tiles unseen. Now, I have a Tricky Rack. I don't have a Bingo, and my lead is only 20-odd points. Yeah, a meal for 36, but that's providing 3 really juicy floaters, so I much prefer my play of AW. This is what my opponent had. Did she have a bingo? Nope. And Eula's a nice play. It's opening a bingo lane, and it's also getting rid of the G and the U, which were, or the U certainly, non-bingo-y. Now, I draw the final E, which is helpful for me in denying my opponent a bingo. I don't like E-Mule. It provides floaters. So I played Om to take out a bingo lane, and I still like that. And this is what my opponent had. Oh, wow, look at that. The blank was the last in the bag. Gosh. So, yeah, that blank was pretty essential to bingoing on a tight board, and neither of us had it. So, opponent plays Fitz, and then I play N for 23. And my opponent plays Visa L6 Knit. Was that my play? Yes, it was. And finally, Zoe is the best my opponent can do. So a pretty exciting game, and it quite possibly turned on the blank being the last in the bag. But as ever, all of my plays were designed to maximise my winning prospects, and I think there was a good variety of situations in that game, given that I was playing catch-up for the first half and then hanging on to a slender lead in the second half. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.